everyone, welcome to this week's Karma Cards. All I can say is, what a week, right? It's been a crazy week in energy. I'm specifically speaking about the Schumann resonance. It has been bouncing around, jumping around all week long. Today, for example, this is May 7th, it was at 94 hertz. That's a pretty big spike. So if you've been feeling those ascension symptoms I've talked about in the past, we're talking like extreme tiredness, waking up really early in the morning. You can have even flu-like symptoms, like just feeling a little under the weather. Tinnitus, where your ears are ringing. God, just everything under the sun. Headaches, migraines, things like that. That can very well be due to the influx of incoming energy we've been feeling all week long. And I'm talking like today it's 94, bouncing around to 98. We've had 86. It's been a really ramped up week in energy. And this can make anybody want to retreat. Hence why my karma cards are coming out so late this week, because every time I tried to get myself to do it, it was just like I didn't have the energy to do it. I was still heavily processing all this incoming energy. And remember, with this spike in energy, right, we're looking at the consciousness and the heartbeat of the earth. And she is raising well up and out of gamma. So I think that the top of gamma, correct me if you know this and I'm wrong, but I believe it's about 50 hertz is the top of gamma. And now gamma brainwave state is an incredibly high brainwave state. This is something that Tibetan monks can reach through certain types of meditation. They can reach this gamma state. For most of us, when we hit meditation, I'm sure there are some other people who can reach gamma, but most people consider theta, which is below gamma, a very deep meditative flow state to be in. Most of us, on our everyday basis, we're sort of hanging out in beta, and when we get into that concentration state, we're going into alpha, right? So we're like beta, alpha, I think it's theta, then you have gamma. So the Earth's energy, her consciousness is well beyond gamma, which means she's doing some super mystical shit right now. She's very mystical, and it's increasing our own state of consciousness, which again means that we're able to process things. A lot of deeply held patterns and beliefs can more easily surface. It can be easier to see what's operating with you, and that's great. This is great work. It can also make you want to retreat, right? Want to go deep into your cave. And I love something that I was reading earlier today that said, the older the soul, the deeper the cave. Meaning like the longer you feel like you've been around the earth a few times or other places, there's a good chance that when all this comes up, you retreat, and you retreat deep. And so the message this week from the team is to remember to connect physically. It is very easy for people who are in touch with the higher spheres, when they're in touch with their higher consciousness, their non-physical counterparts, when you're in touch with that, to almost want to unplug from the earth and just go somewhere else, somewhere more pleasant, somewhere that's less challenging. And in fact, I think a lot of highly spiritual people have issues connecting to the earth. I know I have in the past, and I still sometimes in healing sessions I find out that I'm unconnecting from the earth, and so I have to bring myself in. So we want to be mindful of that while we're allowing ourselves to increase in energy, increase in consciousness, as we're allowing all these processes to take place. That we still want to remember that yes, we are all these things. We are this higher density being. We have a multidimensional nature. More of us is non-physical than is physical, and yet there's still that physical part here. We still want to respect and honor that. We still want to remember that we came here to earth for a reason. whether we know what that is or not, we still came here to be part of it, right? So to be in the world, but not of it. Messages again are make sure you're reconnecting physically with the world. And this can mean, literally reconnecting with the earth, which I know a lot of people feel comfortable with. They're like, yeah, I can do that. I can go hang out in nature by myself, or I can go to the ocean by myself. But so connecting with nature, very important and very joyful experience to have. But we also want to stay connected to humanity because of the very essence of our human nature. So humans are so interesting. We're an interesting animal because we have features that are both like predatory animals. For example, right, we can tear and chew our food, right? So we can digest things like meat and stuff like that. And our eyes face forward, which is very, that's predatory eye placement. We're really good at hunting, for example. That's all predatory natural animal instinct. But we also have herd instinct as well, right? So we are naturally community-driven beings. We do better when we're not isolated. We feel better on every level when we can connect with one another physically. We feel better when we know that there are people physically with us. And I'm sure you've had that experience too, where if you've spent a certain amount of time alone, you really start to feel that. You really start to feel that energy, like you need connection. It's just the way that we're designed. As I'm talking, I got a cat going crazy on the curtains in front of me, so I'm just a little distracted. I bet she's feeling the Schumann resonance right now. Okay. So the message is, remember that while you're going through all of this, do what you need to do to feel like you can handle it. And if that does mean you need to withdraw, if it means you need to cocoon to restore yourself, do take that time. But that the circle isn't fully complete until you come back out and participate in the world, right? No matter what's going on, we still have to participate. We're not here to be observers. We're here to participate. So that's that message right now. And I know that in these time periods, that can feel challenging, and we're being asked to transcend that. Transcend the challenges that prevent you from connecting with humanity. Because the where we're going, we will be a united team. We'll be a team, just like we're supposed to be. But we must first transcend the challenges that make us not want to connect with one another for whatever reasons. So those are the main messages that are coming through this week. I know the messages at this time kind of seem short and sweet, but that's what I'm getting, was just this continuation of completing the cycle. Go inward to heal, go outward to send out that energy. And that's how we operate. Before I forget, this coming Tuesday, May 11th, is the new moon in Taurus. So if you want to get together and connect with people, now we're doing it virtually, but if you want to connect with others from all over the world and focus on what you are manifesting in this next period of time, it's a perfect time to do that. And the Taurus moon energy is such a lovely, expansive, beautiful energy. So if you'd like to join us, just go to my website below, blythestarlight.com, and check out my Spirit Circles page. It tells you all about what Spirit Circles are, and if you feel inclined, you can join us for the next session. All right, so now let's get to karma cards for this week. And this week's reading is for today, May 7th, through Wednesday, May 12th. Now let me explain how to do karma cards if this is your first time. So I have 3 sets of cards. I have the planets, signs of the zodiac, and the houses of astrology. And I've already asked my team, what's the message you have for us this week? Right? Like, what is it? What's the message? So they've already given me 2 sets of answers, one in red, which are action related, and one in blue, which are outcome related. So all you need to do to play is just tune into your own divine wisdom and feel into whether you need action-related answers this week or outcome-related answers. And many times people want both, and I think that's great. They work really well together. So take a moment to do that while I tell you the flavor of this reading. So, this week we have Venus, love Venus, ruler of Taurus, which is the season that we're in right now, in the sign of Gemini, which is the next phase coming up very soon, Gemini, in the fourth house of home, family, past, and where you come from. Love this. And divine feminine energy as well. For those who are choosing action-related answers, your spiritual action this week, cherish what you want to be known as you did in the past. I'll say that again. Cherish what you want to be known as you did in the past. And I feel like this connects to what the team was saying earlier about what you want to be known. This is something that you want to share. This is your point of view. Cherish your point of view as you did in the past. You know, I feel like in the last year and a half, it has been really a challenge for some people to really be able to stand by their true belief system. There's a lot of pressure to manipulate people into go believe a certain thing or go a certain way. And this is really saying, no, you do you, right? That's what this means. Before it was harder to do it. You know, before in the past, it was easier to do it. I mean, in the most recent past, it's been a little bit of a challenge for some. Some points of view are fully accepted. Some points of view are completely rejected. And there feels like there isn't really an in-between place at this point in time. You do you as you did in the past. You don't need to bend yourself to conform to anything. In fact, trying to conform to anything is only going to cause you pain. Trying to get others to conform to what you believe is only going to cause them pain. And probably they won't do it, especially if someone's forcing it on them. That's not going to happen. So the first message here, in a spiritual sense, you do you, just like you did before. Cherish what you want to be known as you did in the past. Mental action at this time. Enjoy what is believed about your home base or your family. So all this cherish, enjoy, love, appreciate, this is Venus coming in, this beautiful warm energy. Enjoy what is believed about your home base or family. And again, this is really interesting because with our family, especially with when we're maybe in our immediate family, maybe in our extended family, again, the last year and a half can whip up some things, right? But at the base of everything, there is love. At the base of everything, right? Not everybody handles things the way that you do. Not everybody sees people in our own families can see the world very differently than us, right? We can transcend that together by choosing love, choosing to remember who people are to you and what they mean to you. So I think this is a really powerful action that people can take. I've been taking it in my own life. I have people that I absolutely love and adore who see the world very differently than I do. And I choose them. I choose love. And we have had great conversations. We've had difficult conversations. But at the base of it, there's always love. And when you trust other people to make good choices for themselves, right? When you give them that, many times they'll give it back. And even if they don't, you need to trust yourself in the choices that you are making for you, right? So when that starts happening more and more in this world, we are going to move up collectively together. That's where we start merging into unification, when we start trusting people to make choices for themselves rather than trying to force our perspective on another. Because remember, there is no one perspective. There is one collective energy, but it's a multi-dimensional, multi-fractioned perspective. It's like a crystal. And I'll remind you, I've said this before in the past, but in case you haven't heard it, one of the best metaphors my team ever gave me on perspective was the room. They told me to picture a square room, and they said, put yourself in the center. This is your perspective. This is what you can see from where you're standing. And then they said, now populate it with people. And the ones standing closest to you share your perspective or are very similar to your own perspective. However, there's also people far away. There's people in the corners of the room, up against the wall. Their perspective from where they stand is very different. And then they asked me, which one's the right one? And I said, I don't know. They said, all of them. Because from wherever you're standing, you have a perspective on what this room is, right? Wherever we are in life, we have a perspective on what is going on, and they're all valid. And they said that the purpose of understanding this wasn't to try and adjust everybody to your perspective, nor for you to adjust to theirs, but really actually get curious about what do you see? What are you seeing? Because it's the only way to get a more accurate picture of everything. And we're all holding a little bit of that information about what this all is. So this trusting other people to make good choices for themselves and trusting yourself and the choices that you feel are right to make. This is what gets us that information. The physical action at this time, charm, art, and beauty are the way to use the quickest way and do what makes you feel secure. That's an interesting one. Charm, art, and beauty are the way to use the quickest way to do what makes you feel secure. So when I look at the charm, art, and beauty, right, this usually goes back to love, right? These are all connected to, it gives you good feelings. These are elevated feelings, and they're connected to love and the heart. So what I'm looking at here, use your heart to get the quickest way to make you feel secure. Follow your heart. That's basically what this says. Follow your heart, and that will make you feel secure. So often we are looking for security externally. We are looking to a job. We're looking to finances. We're looking to our home. We're looking to our family. We're looking to our friends and our partners to create a sensation of, now I feel secure. I'm surrounded by this. Where the unfortunate thing about having an external vision of security is that means that any of those things taken away from you could decrease your sense of security and safety. Whereas if you really seek security from within, it cannot be taken away from you. And this means following the heart, right? The heart will lead you in the right direction in any topic. So follow your heart. That is the quickest way to find a sense of security. And security, when you found it within, meaning that unshakable, I know me. I know what's right for me. I know what to do here. I know how to give myself security. That can't ever be taken away. So now let's go into outcomes for Venus in Gemini in the 4th house of family in the past. Your spiritual outcome at this time, the attraction of information to explain what makes you feel secure. Kind of the reverse of the last thing that was said. So by doing this, by following your heart, by trusting yourself, by standing with yourself, you will attract the information to help you understand what makes you really feel secure. Mental outcome at this time, pleasure from communications about support. And again, this goes back to what the team was saying earlier about, if you're withdrawing into your healing cave, make sure that you come out and you physically connect with the world. So that's communications about support, pleasure from this. You're going to feel good doing this too. If you've been disconnecting from people for a while, it's going to feel really good to connect back in with them. You'll remember why this is such an important part of being human. And other people really want this. That's something that, comes through really strongly, is that we're all so hungry for this real connection. real support and just in the form of like reaching out and physically being available to each other. We're starving for this right now. And if you're hearing this message and you're waiting for someone to reach out to you, the team tells me you're the one who needs to reach out. Somebody's got to start this, right? Someone's got to start this chain reaction of good feelings. And you're the chosen one because you are hearing this message and it's meant for you to spark that fire for you. Physical outcome at this time. Good times resulting from the fluctuations of your home, family, or base. Your home base or family. There you go. Good times resulting from the fluctuations of your home base or family. Wow, that last part's so hard to say. Venus. I'm so glad she's here. This is a card that it always feels good when she comes up. Fluctuations. Fluctuations, talking about the changes. So again, one of the things that happens that's negative when we retract into our healing cave, when we are detaching and going inward, is that we can sort of be static in the information we have, meaning that last time I talked to so-and-so, this is the impression I got from them, and so therefore in my withdrawn place in my cave, this information resonates. It's like an echo chamber now, and that's the last bit of information I have from them, and so therefore this is what they think about X, Y, and Z now. That's what I've decided because I'm working with old information. Remember how changeable we all are. You know, things happen, and it creates, just because somebody has, you know, a certain perspective starting out, that doesn't mean it's going to stay that way based on things that move and shift and change. Things fluctuate. Don't assume you know somebody and what they're thinking, especially if you're not communicating with them. Give them that benefit of the doubt. And this is where I love some of the stuff that's come out of Brene Brown's work, where she talks about when you're communicating with someone else, especially if you're having negative thoughts about that person or what that person's thinking specifically. She talks about, this is the story that I'm telling myself about what you think about this. This is a really excellent tool for communicating and understanding, because you're taking ownership of the fact that you're actually putting these thoughts and words into their mouth in your own mind, right? We're making up things about what we don't understand or what doesn't make sense to us. Our brain rarely rests with the unknown. I mean, our logical mind doesn't like that. It wants to know everything. It wants to categorize it, put it in a box, and call it done. If something is left open-ended, it kind of fixates on it until it can come up with a logical reason why that's happening. So by using this is the story I'm telling myself about tool, it's beautiful because you can express what you feel or are afraid of around communicating with someone, while at the same time taking full responsibility that I'm acknowledging that this is what I'm telling myself, right? It's such a beautiful tool. It opens up the doors. It allows people to tell you where they're coming from, and it allows anything that needs to be healed about that to heal, right? So we are more and more working on having this open mindset, which is where we want to be. We want the open mindset, which is where we can have multiple perspectives and we don't freak out, where we can fully trust our own guidance without trying to put that on other people. Here, you do this too, right? We want the open mindset. What we tend to be working through or past is the fixed mindset, which is where storytelling comes from, which is where this is the data I have on you. And so now everything that I think you think will get filtered through this because of this conversation or this event or blah, 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 right? So that's fixed mindset. When we're deciding we know somebody's motives or intentions or meanings based on old information. That's just what the logical mind does, because it can't handle the enigma, okay? Can't handle the mystery. So by recognizing people change and that you change all the time, this can create that good feeling energy, right? And if you have to have any conversations that are difficult or you're worried about, try using that technique. This is the story I'm telling myself about blank. And see what new information comes forward for you. Because at this point in time, it's going to be good feeling energy that comes through this, right? Yeah, there's some stuff that causes people fear and trepidation in the world right now. You can transcend it. You can move past it. You can realize where you're trying to maybe control a situation so that you can feel secure. Recognize security comes from within. The outside world has nothing to do with your actual feelings of security. They all come from within. When you recognize that, you take some power back again, right? And you honor yourself and where you're coming from, but now you're open again to hear where other people are coming from. And at the base of everything is love. At the base of everything is love. All humans truly want to be loved. And I believe that most of humanity wants to give love and wants to help ease somebody else's feelings, right? We're really being asked to get that 75,000 foot view and look down now and see above anything that's going on in front of you and look for what's real to you, what's right to you, how you feel, what you're perceiving, and then connecting to the truth of other people. All right. I hope that you have a fantastic weekend or whenever you see this. I'm looking forward to the upcoming New Moon Spirit Circle because I'm ready to create some new stuff. And until next time, I love you so much. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Thank you for watching. Subscribe now and hit the notification bell so that you know the next time I release a new video. Until then, stay magical.